This just in, Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones' newborn baby has reportedly gone missing, and trust me, the details around this are messy, suspicious, and downright chilling. This ain't your typical missing person case. Oh no, this is a full-blown Hollywood-level scandal, and the streets are already talking. Now, if you've been keeping up with all the drama surrounding Chrissy and Jim, then you already know their relationship has been on life support for years. They've been engaged for over a decade with no wedding in sight. Chrissy has publicly begged for commitment, and Jim, well, let's just say commitment ain't exactly his strong suit. And now, with a missing baby thrown into the mix, this entire situation is looking real suspicious. So, here's what we know so far. Reports surfaced earlier this morning that Chrissy and Jim's baby has vanished, as in, completely gone without a trace. But here's where things take a weird turn. Nobody seems to know how, when, or why this happened. According to sources close to Chrissy, she was last seen with the baby in her Miami condo just a few days ago. Everything seemed normal, no signs of struggle, no forced entry, nothing. And then suddenly, poof, the baby was gone. Now, y'all already know the internet detectives wasted no time jumping on this. People started connecting the dots, pulling up past drama, and trying to figure out what really happened. Because let's be honest, the timing of all this is way too convenient. First, the paternity drama. Then, Jim starts acting funny. And now, the baby disappears? Something ain't adding up. Now, let's talk about Jim Jones for a second, because the way he's been moving has people giving him the side eye. While Chrissy has been out here frantically calling the police, making statements, and breaking down in tears, Jim has been chilling. Yep, you heard that right. Instead of publicly speaking out about his missing child, Jim was spotted hanging out with his boys, cracking jokes, and acting completely unbothered. And if that wasn't weird enough, he even posted a cryptic message on Instagram that had people losing their minds. He wrote, "Sometimes you got to let go to move forward." Excuse me, sir? Let go of what? Because if this man is talking about letting go of his own baby, we have a serious problem. And the internet wasted no time dragging him. One user wrote, "Jim Jones acting way too calm for somebody whose baby just went missing. Something ain't right." Another said, "Chrissy is out here devastated, and Jim is just chilling? Yeah, this man is hiding something." And look, y'all know I don't like to jump to conclusions, but this whole situation is looking real shady. Because let's not forget, the streets were already whispering about whether Jim was even the father of this child to begin with. Yep, you heard that right. A few months back, rumors started swirling that Jim had secretly demanded a paternity test behind Chrissy's back. Some people claimed he was telling his close friends that he had doubts, while others said he was actually trying to get a quiet DNA test done before signing the birth certificate. And then, right after the baby was born, Jim suddenly started distancing himself. Coincidence? I think not. Now, let's get into the suspicious details surrounding this baby's disappearance. According to a close friend of Chrissy, she was the last person seen with the baby. But when people came to check in, the baby was nowhere to be found. No forced entry, no security footage of a break-in, no witnesses seeing anything suspicious. It's almost like the baby just vanished into thin air. And the real question is, who would want this baby gone? Now, before we go pointing fingers, let's talk about the one person who has been completely silent since all this went down, Jim Jones. Not only has Jim refused to speak to the media, but even Chrissy herself has been having a hard time getting in contact with him. And this is where things take a completely wild turn. Because word on the street is that this might not be a simple missing child case, but a full-blown kidnapping. Yep, kidnapping. An anonymous source who claims to be very close to Chrissy's inner circle says that she and Jim had been receiving threats for weeks before this baby disappeared. Now hold on, threats? This changes everything. Because if Chrissy and Jim were already being harassed, then we need to ask, who had it out for them?
And why?
And let's not forget, Chrissy has been in some deep drama over the years. She's rubbed people the wrong way in the industry, has feuded with ex-friends, and let's not even get into the money problems she and Jim have had over the years. Could this kidnapping be a warning? A message? Or something even more sinister? Because now people are starting to connect the dots, and the evidence is pointing in a very unsettling direction. First off, let's talk about how conveniently quiet Jim has been this whole time. One minute, he's out here laughing with his friends. The next minute, he's completely off the grid. Even the paparazzi, who are usually all up in his business, can't seem to track him down. Which means we now have two missing people, Jim and the baby. Y'all, what if Jim actually knows where the baby is? Now look, I'm not saying he did it, but if he's involved, that could explain why he's been so weird about the whole situation. And let's not forget, Jim has been openly questioning the baby's paternity. What if he found out something that made him want to handle this situation himself? Now, I know what you're thinking. Why wouldn't Chrissy be involved in all this? Well, that's the craziest part. Chrissy has been completely blindsided by everything. She's been crying, calling her friends for help, and even had to be escorted out of the police station after she showed up demanding answers. This woman is broken. So, if this was some type of inside job, Chrissy definitely wasn't in on it. And that just makes things even more heartbreaking. Now, we already know the police have officially launched an investigation. But here's where things get even crazier. New reports are saying that an unidentified black SUV was spotted near Chrissy's condo just hours before the baby was discovered missing. And guess what? Jim owns a black SUV. So now we have to ask, was this baby taken by someone Jim knows? Because the way everything is unfolding, it's looking like this might not just be a simple missing child case. This could be something much bigger. And y'all, the next set of details that just leaked? Oh, it's about to blow this case wide open. Because now, the police are considering an even darker possibility. Stay tuned, because we're diving deep into the new evidence, the growing suspicions around Jim Jones, and the disturbing connections that just got exposed. Now, hold on, because things are getting even crazier in this missing baby case. The police have been working nonstop, and now, new evidence has surfaced that is making people seriously question whether this is really a kidnapping or if something far more sinister is at play. First things first, let's talk about this black SUV. As I mentioned earlier, a black SUV was spotted near Chrissy's condo just hours before the baby was reported missing. And guess what? Jim Jones owns a black SUV. Now, I'm not saying that means Jim was the one driving it, but let's be real. This man has been acting weird. The police immediately started investigating, pulling security footage, and trying to track the vehicle's movements. But here's where it gets even sketchier. Somehow, the footage from Chrissy's condo security cameras is missing. Yep, you heard that right. The one thing that could have given us clear answers is gone, erased, vanished into thin air. And y'all already know what that means. Somebody did this on purpose. Because, let's be honest, security footage doesn't just disappear unless someone makes it disappear. The real question is, who has the power to do that? Jim? A hired professional? Someone else connected to this whole situation? At this point, it's clear, whoever took this baby knew exactly what they were doing. And now, the police are starting to put the pieces together, and what they just found has people absolutely losing their minds. Now, before we get into the latest bombshells, let's talk about Chrissy's reaction to all this. Because if y'all thought she was broken before, just wait until you hear what happened next. Chrissy has been desperate for answers, practically begging the police to do more. And when she heard about the SUV sighting and the missing footage, she lost it. According to insiders, Chrissy collapsed on the floor at the police station, sobbing uncontrollably. She kept saying, "I know who did this. I know who did this." And then she dropped a bomb. Chrissy reportedly told police that she had a bad feeling about Jim for weeks before all this went down. She claimed that he had been acting different, avoiding her, making excuses, and even disappearing for long periods without telling her where he was going. Now, y'all tell me, what kind of father does that to his newborn child? And get this, Chrissy also revealed that she and Jim had a massive fight just days before the baby went missing. According to Chrissy, Jim had accused her of lying about something and was threatening to leave her for good. But here's where things take a truly disturbing turn, because right after that, Chrissy started noticing weird things happening. At first, she thought she was tripping, but then she started hearing noises at night. Then, She saw a strange man standing outside her building late at night, just staring. And the scariest part? When she went to check the security cameras to see who it was, the footage was gone, just like what happened on the night the baby disappeared. Y'all, what in the world is going on here? Because now it's looking like this whole thing was planned way in advance. And that means somebody, maybe even Jim, had been plotting something for weeks. And here's where the case takes a shocking new twist. Just when the police were getting closer to figuring out what happened, another major development hit. And this one, it's straight out of a Hollywood movie. A second black SUV was just discovered, abandoned on the side of the road. And inside, a piece of fabric that matches something Chrissy had in the baby's nursery. Now hold up, because this is huge. This means that whoever took the baby was moving them around in a second vehicle to throw people off. And the fact that this vehicle was abandoned so suddenly, it's almost like whoever was driving it had to get rid of it fast. So now, the police are checking surveillance footage from nearby streets, tracking license plates, and trying to figure out exactly where this second vehicle came from. But here's where things get even more insane. After hearing about this abandoned SUV, a mysterious witness just came forward with new information. And what this person is claiming, it changes everything. This witness says they saw a man carrying a bundle wrapped in a blanket, rushing into a completely different car just hours after the baby was taken. They described the man as tall, wearing all black and looking nervous. And when the police showed them a lineup of potential suspects, guess whose picture they hesitated on?
Jim Jones.
Now hold on, this is getting too crazy. Because this witness just said they saw a man that looked a lot like Jim carrying something that could have been the baby, getting into another vehicle. And that means, was Jim really the one behind this? Because, let's be honest, everything is pointing to him right now. And just when y'all thought it couldn't get any wilder, guess what? Jim Jones has gone missing. Yep, you heard that right. Nobody knows where he is. He's not answering his phone. His team has gone silent. This man has completely disappeared off the face of the earth. And y'all already know what that means. Guilty people run. Because, let's be real, if your baby is missing, you should be out here doing everything to find them. But Jim? He dipped. And now, people are starting to wonder, did Jim Jones take the baby himself? Or, and this is where things get even more terrifying, did somebody take Jim too? Because now, there's a new theory floating around that Jim might not actually be responsible, but instead, he might have been set up. Y'all, what if Jim got caught up in something way bigger than just a missing baby? Because let's not forget, Jim Jones has been linked to some very powerful people, and not all of them have good intentions. So now we have two major possibilities. Option 1. Jim was involved in the baby's disappearance, and now he's on the run because he knows the truth is about to come out. Option 2. Jim wasn't the mastermind, but he got himself into something shady, and now both he and the baby are in danger. Either way, this is getting way too deep. And y'all, the most shocking development is still coming. Because now somebody is making anonymous phone calls to the police. And these calls, they're claiming to know exactly what happened to the baby. In part 3, we're diving into these mysterious calls, the new twist that has everyone rethinking what really happened, and the terrifying truth about who might actually be behind this entire situation. Security camera footage near Chrissy's house shows a black SUV pulling up minutes before the baby disappeared. But here's the kicker. The person stepping out of that SUV looks awfully familiar. People are saying it's someone close to the family, someone who's had beef with Jim for years. Could it be an ex? A former business partner? A rival from the industry? Whoever it is, their involvement is too suspicious to ignore. And just when we thought things couldn't get messy, boom. New reports dropped saying a ransom letter has surfaced. That's right. Someone is demanding money in exchange for the baby's safe return. And y'all won't believe how much they're asking for, $5 million. Now, here's the thing. Jim has money, but he ain't sitting on that kind of cash liquid. Some sources claim he's been trying to get the money together fast. But hold up. Why would someone kidnap a celebrity's baby and think they can just demand money like this, unless this was personal? See, this ain't some random crime. This feels like a setup. Somebody planned this. Somebody knew what they were doing. And now Jim is forced to make the biggest decision of his life. Does he pay up and get his child back, or does he call their bluff and let the authorities handle it? But let's be real, if it were your child, could you really take that risk? Now, while Jim is dealing with all this, the internet detectives are working overtime. Some people believe this is all staged, that Jim and Chrissy are playing the media to stay relevant. Others say this is deeper than Hollywood, that there's some big secret involved that they don't want exposed. And then there's the most chilling theory of all. What if the baby was never really in danger? What if this was all part of a bigger scheme? Because let's not forget, Chrissy has been trying to get Jim to settle down for years. What if this is her final move? What if she's forcing Jim's hand to commit, to be the man she's been begging him to be? Sounds crazy? Maybe. But in Hollywood, nothing is off the table. And that's why we need to stay locked in, because no matter which way this goes, one thing is clear: this is far from over. This story just keeps getting wilder, and you already know we're going to stay on top of it. What do y'all think really happened? Is Jim actually out there trying to save his baby, or is there more to the story? And do y'all think the police will catch his ex before it's too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We need to hear what y'all think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because trust me, this case is far from over. Stay locked in, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.